Hi, I'm Skilla and this is Nerd Stuff with Skilla, and today I want to talk about Stranger Things Season 2, Episode 5. It's called Dig Dug and I really liked it. If you haven't gotten up to Episode 5 of Stranger Things, please do not watch this video. Go get caught up and then come back and watch this. I am doing this episode by episode and we'll probably do a season wrap video at the end of watching all of it. I do have to go to a friend's house to watch it as I do not have internet. We get a lot more of what's going on inside of Will. He's dealing with having this upside down entity inside of him, and they get the idea that they can track where Hopper is because they realize he's missing and they can't get a hold of him because he's stuck in the upside down. Meanwhile, Hopper is underground going through all these tunnels that Will has etched out a map of, and they posted all over their house. And Hopper is lost because the tunnel grew back over with vines, and he leaves a little marker of a cigarette, but then shortly after that he gets sprayed in the face a couple times by these pustules that are on the side of the wall, and then he's in pain, and then he trips over something and he hits his head and he gets knocked out. He's laid out in the middle of this upside down tunnel and he's taken over by these vines and he's getting all wrapped up in them and they're like tentacleifying him, and it's pretty creepy. Will, Mike, and Joyce are all trying to piece together this giant puzzle that Will's drawing out, and then Bob comes over with his adorable self and he's, you know, trying to bring over some brain games for Will to do while he's not feeling well, and Joyce gets the idea to bring him inside because maybe he can help them figure out what this is a map of, and he does. He starts marking out different waterways that this could symbolize, and then they figure out close to where Hopper disappeared. Bob and all of them go out and they try to find Hopper, and they eventually do. They find his truck and then they start digging, and then Joyce jumps down into the hole and Bob's just jumps right in after her because he's just that good guy, and it's really cute. Bob is just like the sweetest little character and I love that he's in the show. Now the show does keep on going with a lot of like 80s style things, so like one of the things they do is when Hopper almost leaves his hat behind, he goes back and Indiana Joneses it off the floor a couple of times. I think that's really cool. I like those little quiet callbacks to other things that has inspired the show. I think that's one of the things that makes the show really great. But we go back to Dustin and he can't get a hold of anybody. He's trying and trying and trying, and eventually he gets Lucas's sister and she's like, shut up, stop calling. And so since nobody else is helping him, he has to figure out what to do with Dart. He buries his poor little kitty cat who Dart killed, and then he leads him out with a trail of baloney and hides in a shed and tries to get him to be led to this root cellar, but then Dart sees him and starts coming towards him, but Dustin like badasses his way out of it. He hits it with a hockey stick. He's in like full hockey goalie uniform. It's been a minute since I actually watched the episode, but he's in like padding and face mask, and then he Dart into the root cellar and locks him in there. And then he's going about trying to get a hold of everybody, and nobody's home or can't come to the door, and he runs into Steve. And now we're gonna have, I assume in the next episode, a little buddy adventure between Steve and Dustin, and I think that sounds so fun. It's the duo that you didn't know you needed. Poor heartbroken Steve and Dustin, who's just trying to find his friends. I think it's gonna be really fun to watch. 11 in this episode has hitchhiked to where Terry stays. Terry, her mother, and she gets there and realizes that Terry is just shut down. All she's doing is sitting there and saying those words that we saw her say in the last episode. Rainbow, 3 to the left, 4 to the right, 450, breathe, sunflower, and later on in the episode we see that all of those things have to do with kind of her final moments. Each of those things symbolizes something that was happening before she got put into the state that she's in. She got electroshock therapied and they had 450 volts going straight through her brain and it just fried her, and she's not in a good place. We start seeing like flickering lights like we've seen before in the previous season, and she kind of follows the flickering lights around the house until she gets to Terry sitting in her room watching TV, and she realizes that Terry's trying to communicate with her. So both of them jump down into the sensory deprivation place, and she shows her all of these memories, and it was a really cool scene. I really liked the way they did that. I thought it was great. And I don't know if I've said this before, but all of these kids have chops. They're doing a fantastic job. Particularly the girl who plays 11 is just out of this world. Like if she's not like Natalie Portman in 10 years. I don't know what to do. Nancy and Jonathan are out and about together, kind of trying not to be tracked by the people from the lab, and they end up in a hotel together on separate beds, and they have kind of a moment of, yes, we both like each other and things aren't perfect and meh, and so they both go to sleep. They also meet Murray. Now we know Murray from, I think we only saw him in either the first or the second episode, I don't remember exactly, but he's the conspiracy theorist who went in to try and tell Hopper about the alien sightings, where he's actually just talking about 11. They meet up with him because they know that he's working for Barb's parents, so they go in and they tell him everything about what's been going on. He's like, I believe every word that you've said, but we can't just go and tell the public that because nobody's going to believe you. They get the idea to water it down. So they're going to try to sell a story to the public that waters down exactly what's going on, because nobody's going to believe all of the crazy supernatural things that we've been seeing throughout this season. And he's so funny. Like, I really like his character. He's, again, another one of those 80s elements. Like, he's very much a, like, Doc Brown or something like that, where he's just kind of zany and weird, and he's drinking alcohol, and he's like, it helps me think. And they're like, fair enough. And then he gives underage people vodka to drink, and they drink it. Great job contributing to the delinquency of minors. Another thing that happens in this episode is that Lucas is telling Max everything. He's tricked her into going into the back room of the arcade they've been going to, and she's like, you're a creep and a stalker. Like, no, I have some important things to tell you. He tells her everything that's happened. Like, he runs down the entire previous season and kind of tells her what's going on with the kids now. He's trying to tell Max so that she doesn't hate them all. He wants Max in their group just as much as Dustin does. And she doesn't believe him. She's like, I need proof, and you're crazy. So while Joyce and Bob are in the Upside Down, they start cutting away the vines that are keeping Hop tied down, and they kind of save his life. We see one of the guys in like big white hazmat suits come down, and then we see that Will is like freaking out. He's having a giant seizure, and I believe that's exactly where the episode ends. I am so excited to watch the next episode. I'm hoping to finish the series tonight and finish uploading videos for it tonight as well. I've heard some mixed reviews of it. I've heard somebody say that it wasn't as good as last season, but so far, like, I am really enjoying this season. I don't know, maybe some crazy stuff happens in the next 4 episodes that aren't great, or maybe people had qualms with like with Dart and the kind of gremlin situation we had there, but I really don't see a lot of things that I could critique heavily. I think it's been really enjoyable. I think it looks good. I think the acting's good. I think the writing's fun. Like, it's not the most in-depth, crazy, you know, million different strings going on Game of Thrones show, but it is what it is, and I enjoy what it is, so that's how I feel about it right now. I think this episode might have been the best one so far in the season. I'm excited to finish editing this video and post it so that I can go and watch the rest of it at my friend's house. Comment down below if you want to have a conversation about Stranger Things Season 2. Try not to be too spoilery. Not everybody's seen it yet, including me. I'm not done yet, as I've said a couple of times. Give me a big thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. Make sure to subscribe if you want to hear about more nerdy stuff from me. And as always, thank you so much for watching.